You know, some places are more than just coordinates on a map. They're arenas, places where promises get tested, where faith is forged in fire, and where conviction gets etched into history itself. Today, we're going to journey to one of those places, the mountain of Uhud. We're going to uncover some incredible stories of conviction that have echoed through the ages. So this is Uhud. It's a mountain just outside Medina that saw one of the most defining days in early Islamic history. It was a day of intense trial, for sure. But more than that, it was a test of promises, a day where everyday people showed this extraordinary commitment to a sacred covenant they'd made with God. And this verse right here from the Quran, it frames our entire understanding of what happened that day. It's talking about two kinds of people who are true to their promise. You have those who have fulfilled their vow and met their end, and then you have those who are still waiting, looking for their chance. The stories we're about to explore, they show both types, just brilliantly. So let's start with the story of a father, a man named Khaithumah. Now, he had missed the last big battle at Badr, and that fact was really weighing on him. His son, though, had gone and was martyred. So for Khaithumah, Uhud was way more than just another battle. It was his chance to answer a call he felt deep down in his soul. Right before the battle, Khaithumah has this incredibly powerful dream. He sees his son, not gone, but absolutely thriving in paradise, and he's beckoning his father to join him. You have to understand, this wasn't just a dream born from grief. It was a vision of a promise fulfilled, and it was an invitation. That vision, it changed everything for him. Just like that, his longing for his son transformed into this profound desire to meet his Lord. The sorrow was still there, of course, but now it was overshadowed by this powerful spiritual yearning to get the same reward his son had been given. So with this new resolve, he went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and just poured his heart out. I mean, here's this old man, his bones are probably brittle, but his spirit was stronger than ever. And he didn't ask for an easy way out. He asked for the most honorable path. And right there, on the fields of Uhud, his prayer was answered. All right, next up, we meet Wahb Al-Muzanee. This is a guy who showed up late, but his impact was immediate and just unforgettable. This is the story of a shepherd whose courage was absolutely boundless. So Wahab and his nephew arrive in Medina with their sheep, and they find the city completely empty. When they find out the believers had gone to Uhud, they didn't even think twice. They left their flock, their entire livelihood, their simple life, all of it, and just raced to join the battle right as the fighting was kicking off. And what happens next is just, wow. The courage is off the charts. An enemy unit would approach, and the Prophet would ask who would face them. And every single time, without a moment's hesitation, Wahb would step forward and say, I will. He single-handedly fought off wave after wave of attackers. When the dust settled and the battle was over, they found Wahb's body, and it bore the marks of his incredible stand, 20 spear wounds. Get this, he didn't just fight. He threw himself completely into the defense, becoming a human shield for the believers, until his very last breath. This next story, the story of Amr ibn Al-Jamooh, man, it really shows you that true strength isn't in the body, it's in the resolve of the heart. You see, Amr had a severe limp, which actually meant he was excused from the duty of fighting. In fact, his 4 sons, who were all brave fighters, they tried to get him to stay home. But Amr didn't see his limp as an excuse. He saw it as an obstacle to his greatest ambition, to enter paradise. Just listen to his plea. He goes to the Prophet and voices his deepest desire. He wasn't asking for his leg to be healed in this life, no. His goal was so much bigger than that. He wanted his limp, his trial in this world, to be the very thing that walked him into paradise. It's such a brilliant example of a faith that sees way beyond physical limitations. And this conviction we're talking about, it doesn't have an age limit. Our next story is about 2 elderly men, Husail ibn Jaabir and Thabit ibn Waqsh, who just refused to be left behind. So you have these 2 men, and because of their advanced age, they had been left behind with the women and children for safety. But as the battle was raging, they just couldn't stand to sit on the sidelines. Their bodies might have been frail, but their spirits were absolutely on fire with the conviction of a warrior. And this was the conversation they had with each other. They understood a fundamental truth. Death is coming for everyone. The only real question is how you meet it. And they chose to face their end on the battlefield, serving their faith rather than just waiting for it to come quietly at home. And then, in the middle of all this chaos, something tragic happens. Husail was mistakenly killed by other believers. When his son, Hudhayfa, saw it happen, his immediate response wasn't anger, it wasn't a demand for justice, it was a prayer for their forgiveness. It's a moment that just reveals the incredible character that was forged in that community. So, as we step back and look at all these individual lives, one single powerful theme just shines through. Every single one of them, in their own unique way, was living out the promise of that verse we started with. Think about it. Khaithumah longed to meet his Lord, and he did. Wahb pledged to defend the Prophet, and he did so until he had nothing left. Amr wanted to enter paradise with his limp, and the Prophet confirmed he would. And the elders, they chose a meaningful death over a meaningless wait. They were all truly men true to what they promised Allah. And this verse gives context to everything we've just seen. It explains Khaithumah's dream. It explains why the believers were so eager for martyrdom. From this perspective, you see, death on the battlefield wasn't an end. It was a transition to a different, more real form of life, sustained directly by God. You know, the stories of Uhud really leave us with this one profound question. What does it actually mean to be true to a covenant? It's not just about a promise you make with words, right? It's about a conviction that's lived out through your actions, no matter your age, your ability, or your circumstances. It's about aligning your deepest desires with your highest ideals, and then walking that path no matter what it costs. And so the mountain of Uhud stands there today not just as a landmark from a battle, but as a silent witness to promises that were kept. It's a testament to these covenants of conviction that still echo in its valley and hopefully in the hearts of all of us who hear their stories.